This episode of FineScale Modeler's New Product Rundown features AFV Club's M60A1, Kinetic's Mirage III, Tamiya's SOMUA S35, and decals from Kit's World. Welcome to another edition of FineScale Modeler's New Product Rundown. I'm Tim Kidwell.
I'm Aaron Skinner. New kits seem to come thick and fast these days. Let's kick this show off with AFV Club's much anticipated 1/35 scale M60.
Based on the M48, the M60 was designed in the mid-1950s to counter Soviet T-54 and T-55 tanks.
Powered by a 750 horsepower V12 engine, the M60 served as the American military's main battle tank from the mid-1960s until being replaced by the Abrams in the late 1980s.
More than 15,000 of them were built in a number of varieties, and thousands are still active around the world.
AFV Club's kit, the first one in 25 years, represents the A1 variant, which has a larger turret than the initial version and some other improvements.
A quarter century of molding technology advancement is immediately obvious in the single-piece lower hull. It has a realistic rough cast texture, weld seams, and casting numbers.
The turret parts look equally good. Fenders, stowage boxes, and hatches feature sharply molded rivets and handles.
The running gear includes torsion bars running across the hull and road wheels that trap vinyl O-rings. An unused set of road wheels may be an indication of other kits to come.
The engine hatches are separate, and notes on the box top indicate it can be posed open, although no engine is present.
There is detail in the driver's compartment, including a seat, escape hatch, controls, periscopes, extinguisher, and instruments.
Turret interior details include the breeches of the main and coaxial gun, as well as equipment inside the commander's cupola.
That cupola is molded in clear plastic to better represent the vision blocks. There are clear parts for the periscopes, headlights, and the big searchlight lens.
Soft vinyl dust covers are supplied for the main gun and the 50 cal in the cupola.
The terrific turned aluminum barrel for the 105mm gun has a recoil spring and vinyl cover.
Two small frets of photo-etched brass provide mesh for the stowage basket, mud flaps, the attachment for the mantlet dust cover, and more.
Well-molded vinyl tracks have detail front and back, including open guide horns.
Decals provide markings for 5 M60A1s, one each Austrian, Israeli, and the USMC, and 2 US Army. The American tanks all wear multicolor camo.
A lot of stuff in this box.
It's chock full.
And it would be a good place to start for a super detailed build. It's definitely the best 1/35 scale M60 we've seen.
Absolutely. I can't wait to sink my teeth into our next kit, Kinetic's 1/48 scale Mirage III.
This is the 3E version, and despite being the most plentiful version, it hasn't been the subject of a recent kit.
Developed from the 3C, the E is slightly longer to house more fuel and additional avionics.
Now, in addition to French use, this plane was widely exported. Aaron has a list here of countries for me to read to you about where it's been used, including Australia, Argentina. Hey, don't get in.
Sorry,
don't get in the way.
What was the next country?
Don't talk over my list. Australia, you got something to say? Argentina, Brazil, Lebanon, South Africa, stop it, Pakistan, Spain, and Venezuela.
Well done, Tim.
Thank you.
Nice geography lesson for today. Kinetic's kit has parts for the French E and R versions, Spanish EE, and the Australian O.
The smooth gray plastic is marked by fine panel lines and rivets.
The modular airframe has optional radomes, chins, spines, vertical stabilizer parts, and more to account for the multiple versions in the kit.
Unused parts indicate other versions might be forthcoming. For example, there are 4 instrument panels on the sprues, but only 2 are called out in the instructions.
In addition, cockpit detail includes a choice of Martin Baker Mark IV and Mark X ejection seats.
The detailed tub gets separate control stick, pedals, HUD, and other equipment.
The intakes extend all the way to the engine fan, and there's superb detail molded into the jet pipe and nozzle.
Except for the rudder, the control surfaces are separate. Optional parts allow the flaps to be posed down, and the tires and wheels are molded apart, which should make painting easy.
The speed brakes are posable, and the crystal clear canopy may be displayed open or closed. Position and landing light lenses are provided as clear parts.
There's a bunch of ordnance for the Mirage. Matra R550 Magic missiles, Sidewinders, LAU-32 rocket pods, JL-100 combination rocket pod and drop tank, A-30L air-to-ground missile, and Mark 82 bombs.
Surprisingly, there are no Matra R530 missiles, but you get a choice of drop tanks. The instructions include suggested payloads, but there's no indication of which is appropriate for the marking options.
There are 5 finishing options on the Cyhart-designed, cartograph-printed decals. 2 French Mirage IIIEs, one painted in aluminum, the other natural metal.
The French Recon Bird and the Spanish Fighter are gray and green over aluminum.
And the one Aaron wants to build is an RAAF Mirage IIIE wearing dark ghost gray over light ghost gray.
I've waited a long time for a new Tool Mirage 3, and this one definitely looks like it was worth that wait. Tamiya surprised and delighted a lot of modelers when it announced it was going to do a 1/35th scale SOMUA S35 tank. To find out what exactly SOMUA stands for, I turned to Tim, FSM's French expert.
Société d'utilage mécanique et d'usinage d'artillerie.
Well, that's really easy for you to say, but what exactly does it mean?
The SOMUA was tasked with creating an armored fighting vehicle that was more than just infantry support.
Considered a medium tank, the S35 was fast and agile. Its 47mm main gun was actually capable of penetrating the armor of most contemporary tanks at the beginning of World War II.
Before the surrender of 1940, the French had more than 400 of these in service.
In 1977, Heller released the first S35 in 1/35th scale and has remained the only injection molded one.
Tamiya looks to trump that kit hands down. The hull features beautifully molded casting texture, and the prominent bolts joining the upper and lower halves look spot on.
Polycaps and a plastic clip can hold the halves together without glue. Check out the rivet and strap detail on the running gear covers.
Sharply molded road wheels, idlers, and drive sprockets are movable.
Tamiya repeats the click-together individual link track design used on the Char B1 and British Mark IV tanks, so the running gear should work.
Hatches are separate and the hull's crew door can be posed open, but no interior is provided. Clear parts supply periscopes and lights.
The turret and its prominent cupola show casting texture.
The single-piece main gun has a hollow muzzle and will elevate with the coaxial machine gun.
A commander is posed to sit on the turret's rear hatch, and a chain is provided for the tow shackles on the rear of the hull.
French tanks feature colorful camo, and 3 options are given in the kit's decals and painting diagrams.
Those will add a lot of flash to your display shelves.
This release reinforces Tamiya's commitment to French armor. It looks like it's going to be a joy to build.
Oui, oui. Kits World, a decal maker out of the UK, offers some really colorful options for World War II aircraft.
Let's take a look at several recent releases, including 3 for B-17s.
First is a 1/72nd scale sheet to mark 3 fortresses of RAF Coastal Command. One is in standard British bomber camouflage, black undersides and brown and green upper.
The others are an RAF Temperate Sea camo with white undersides and 2-tone gray uppers. All have nifty nose art.
For fans of the 1990 movie Memphis Belle, there's a set of nose art seen on the B-17s in the film. It's available in 1/72nd, as seen here, and in 1/48 scale.
Except for the titular aircraft, these were all fictitious, but done in the style of World War II art.
Finally, there's a set in 1/72nd and 1/48 scale for 2 diametrically opposed fortresses. It includes markings for Sentimental Journey, the commemorative Air Force's B-17G.
It also includes markings for B-17F, the first flying fortress captured by Germany after being forced to land in the Netherlands.
If transports are more your thing, check out these decals for 1/72nd scale C-47s.
The first has markings for a CAF restored Warbird, D-Day doll, plus 4 AC-47 gunships. All wear unique multicolor camo and variations on the spooky nose art.
The second sheet carries options for Field Marshal Montgomery's Silver Dakota and Dragamut, a D-Day C-47A in olive drab and neutral gray camo.
The latter has decals for the fuselage invasion stripes and scoreboard.
And if you like modeling airliners with a difference, there's a sheet with markings for a camouflage Dakota in British Overseas Airways Corporation service in 1945.
It also has a captured KLM DC-3 operated by Deutsche Lufthansa in 1941. The final option on the sheet is Dazzle Dak, a yellow and black striped C-47 in South African Air Force service.
Well, that's a colorful note to end on. Look for reviews of the M60, Mirage, and SOMUA in upcoming issues of FineScale Modeler magazine.
And you can see these and other new products in the April issue, on sale now.
Thanks for visiting FineScale.com. I'm Aaron Skinner.
And I'm Tim Kidwell. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Son of a... I'm like, why isn't Aaron going? I'll stand here.
I was thinking, why isn't Jim going?